Welcome into the latest edition of ESPN FC Live here on ESPN Plus. I'm Dan Thomas, joined in the studio today by Stevie Nicol. Later on in the programme, Gab Marcotti will be here to pay tribute to a brilliant debut for Christian Pulisic for Milan. But we'll kick things off in the Premier League. Crystal Palace taking on Arsenal. Fun game this would be, actually. So it finishes Arsenal 1, Crystal Palace 0. 2 wins out of 2 for Arsenal to kick off the season. As we welcome in, Shaka Hislop is here. And after his Australian adventure, G'day, Jules. How you doing, mate? Welcome back.
G'day, boys. Very good, thank you very much.
What a treat. We'll hear from the boys in a moment. Stevie, this is a fun game, wasn't it? It's a good Monday night game at Selhurst Park.
Yeah, well, you know, I guess from Arsenal's point of view, they won't probably think along those lines. And certainly if
they want it.
Yeah, but if you're Arteta, he'll be disappointed that they didn't have Crystal Palace out of sight by half-time, because Nketiah should have scored twice. I think Martinelli should have done way better in the first 5 minutes with an opportunity. And Crystal Palace, really, I don't remember a chance where you're saying they should have scored. And actually, the biggest thing they get out of it, other than the 3 points, is, although they won the game, the fact that they played with 10 men for a decent period of time and got through it just helps at this early stage of the season to galvanise everybody again and get everybody pulled together. So, yeah, he'll be glad of the win. He'll be disappointed that they kept Crystal Palace hanging around, but because of the fact that they were down to 10 men, he'll go home quite contented tonight.
It's the first 2 opening matches, Shaq. Arsenal have had to work really hard to win both of them, but they have.
Yeah, they have. I guess it's difficult to criticise a team who starts at 100%, as Arsenal have done. But then in the 2 games at home to Nottingham Forest and away to Crystal Palace, the opposition have always kind of been in it. And if you are threatening to challenge Manchester City at the top of the table, I think you make easier work of Nottingham Forest and Crystal Palace, both home and away. But that being said, it's early start to the season. At least you're off the old cliche to win titles, you've got to be able to win ugly. And Arsenal at least have done that. And as Stevie rightly points out, Palace didn't really seem overly threatening. And Nketiah could and should have done better with a couple other chances that he had. And then maybe we feel a little bit differently about Arsenal's start to the season.
Let's talk about some of the decisions we saw, particularly in the second half. Jill, starting off the penalty awarded to Arsenal. Do you agree with Stevie that Partey got away with one?
I'm still on Australian time, so I guess there's a bit of a delay.
Yes. Yeah.
I have to say, I see what Stevie means. There's a block that a lot of teams have been using on set pieces, on corners especially. I think this one was soft, really. I think Doucouré could have easily got out of it, and then Nketiah was already clear anyway. There was no way he would have caught him too. So I had no problems, and actually VR was really quick to check it and to rule out a foul from Partey.
Shaq?
I'm with Jules. Listen, I think as a defender, as much as you want to keep your eye on the ball for when it's being taken, you've got to have better awareness of what's around you. And Thomas Partey stands right there in a block because he knows what's happening. But I don't have an issue with it at all.
2-1, Stevie, you lose.
I don't think so. Listen, see, here's the thing. And here's the reason why I think it's a foul. It's not that he blocks him using his body. He puts his arm out to stop him going past. I mean, that, to me, is completely blatant. That's why it's a foul.
Shaka, why do goalkeepers keep doing this?
Listen, it comes down to misjudging the pace of the striker. That's all it is. Well, certainly in this instance. And Nketiah, I think, is quicker than well, certainly many people realise, and the goalkeeper realise in this instance. And then combined with, you need to get close to make a block. And then when you do get close, you make a play for the ball, and it ends up just kind of going wrong quite clearly. But at the root of it is just underestimating how quick somebody is. And Nketiah is quick.
Do they think they're quick like you think you're quick, Shaq?
Well, that was my strength as a player, Dan. I never got called for one of those fouls because I was quicker than everybody else.
Yeah, you never came off your line. That's why, Shaq. Too much of an effort. Let's take it to the sending off, shall we? We knew that the referees are going to be much more stringent when it comes to time wasting, Jules. Do you think that they use the laws of the game right in this instance?
I think so, unfortunately. I mean, you could say it might be a little bit harsh. I think it would purely be based on the fact that we rarely see those yellow cards given for wasting time on a throw-in. You see sometimes a goalkeeper taking a long time to take his goal kick and getting a yellow, and usually without consequences because they never get two in the same game. But for a throw-in, I believe this is only the first time in the Premier League this season. And that's why maybe you can see as being a bit harsh. But you counted already 8 seconds or 9 seconds it was when you counted during the highlight. For just Tomiyasu, that's even not counting when Havertz had the ball and then when he went. So in the end, I think Arsenal, just the players misjudged that one, just play a bit quicker next time. I've got more issues really with the second yellow, not on the foul, but the fact that Tomiyasu misjudged completely the trajectory of the ball and he tries to get ahead of Ayew, thinking that maybe he can anticipate, get the ball goes over his head and then it's too late. And then by the time he turns around, he can only grab Ayew and grab the shirt and that's a yellow. And the time wasting on the throw-in, okay, don't do it again, and I don't think he will. However, the misreading of the trajectory on the long ball is not acceptable at that kind of level.
Shaq?
I have absolutely no problem with the yellow for the time wasting. I thought between Havertz and Tomiyasu, they overdid it. And then Tomiyasu pays the price for Havertz kind of delaying and then he doubling down on that. I was less convinced about the foul. And while Jules is right, Tomiyasu anticipates and gets that awfully wrong. I'm not 100% convinced that Tomiyasu actually has a full hold of the shirt. And I'm still on the fence as to whether the feet got tangled up. I think his arm does come across the back of Ayew, but I'm not sure that he pushes. I'm not sure that he holds his shirt. I think Ayew goes over easily. And then it for me, feels like a very, very soft yellow card, regardless of the previous booking. And then, you know, this kind of regulation that VAR doesn't step in for yellow cards, which is a little bit silly or certainly silly in this circumstance, comes back to haunt Tomiyasu.
I've got Ronnie Moran in my head again.
Ronnie Moran, he was your assistant coach at Liverpool.
He would always say, if you're on a yellow card, don't put yourself in a position where you can get another one.
Oh.
That's exactly what Tomiyasu did.
Yeah.
He took it out his own hands, put it in the hands of the referee, and he paid the price.
What about the penalty appeal for Palace, Shaq?
No, that wasn't a penalty.
No.
I thought Thomas Partey got to his position, stood his ground. I actually think the ball came off of Partey's ankle before Eze and Thomas Partey, before their legs got tangled up. And it came off Partey's ankle in a way that I think it took it away from Eze. So for me, right here, you see it clips Partey's ankle. For me, I don't think that's a foul. I think the referee got that one absolutely right.
Yeah, same. I agree with the boys. I didn't think it was a pen. I think Eze goes down far too easily, and you could even maybe see it as a dive, to be fair, and trying to get something out of it when there was nothing there.
Jules, I know you've been away. Kai Havertz has now played his third game for Arsenal and hasn't really contributed so far. Concerned?
I mean, yes and no. Okay, the no is because, and I think Stevie mentioned it, I don't think we saw the chance for Martinelli straight away in the third minute or fourth minute of the game. But it's a great ball by Havertz, and that should be a goal for Martinelli. And already there's an assist there. There's certainly a big chance created. And he needs to do more of that. He needs to be more in that position. But I thought the work rate was great today. The encashed chance on the post, that's Havertz recovering the ball there and going for the press and hassling the guy on the ball for Palace. So there's a lot of good things that he does. Maybe the things that we don't see so obviously because it's not an amazing pass or it's not an assist or it's not a goal. There's that shot that he had wide in that second half too. I think he will get there, but again, this is a new position for him. It's a new team, a new system, a new way of playing compared to what he was used to at Chelsea and at Bayer Leverkusen before. So he needs a bit of time. I think he will get there, but it's not maybe as bad as I think a lot of people are saying.
Shaka, do we focus more on Havertz because of his price tag? and because what the expectations maybe are around on him unfairly?
Yeah, listen, I think we focus on Havertz because from the time the signing was announced, it was, well, I'll speak for myself here, it was bemusing. I didn't understand it. I didn't understand the price. I didn't understand the need to sign Kai Havertz. So in answering your question to Jules about concern, I was concerned from day one. And in 3 games now, I don't think Kai Havertz has done anything to allay those concerns. It continues to be one of the odder decisions Arteta has made.
I said to you, with 10, 15 minutes to go, I'd forgot he was playing.
You did say that to me, yes.
So that's not good.
that's not a good sign.
No, I'm with Shaka. I was never convinced it was a good decision, and they've won the 2 games.
Yeah.
So he can go again. You know, winning games means that any sort of criticism of any player or any situation, when you win, you can discard it pretty easily.
Some sort of deodorant.
Something like that.
Yes.
Yes. Correct.
Jules Nketiah just needs to score, doesn't he? Getting himself in great positions, meanwhile.
Yeah, I mean, the penalty is a great move. Very smart play by Arsenal to play the free kick so quickly like that. The thing is, again, you look at his game and there's a lot of really positive things. The movement, some of his runs are really smart, really clever. The pace, of course, and for the press, he's obviously very important in triggering the press, the counter press, all of that, great. But he should score at least one of the 2 chances, if not both, to be fair. And there's a couple of situations as well where he makes the wrong decision. This will improve, and he's still a young player, but certainly the second chance, you expect him to take it. It's a great move, Odegaard, Rice. He has time, he has even options, he can square the ball to Havertz. There's a lot of things that he can do, and in the end, I agree with Stevie, this is the right idea and the execution is wrong, but it's not that difficult of a move as well to make for a player of his quality. So this is still but that hasn't changed since last season. This is still where he has to improve in his finishing and being clinical, because to win the title, there'll be games where Arsenal have just one chance. He falls on Nketiah, he will have to take it. And tonight, in the end, they won, and he was a big part of it because he got the penalty. Well done. But also those 2 chances missed could have come back and haunt them at some point. So still positive, of course, he's very positive, but there's still clearly a lot of work to still be done.
I think if you're Arteta, you're probably not focusing on Nketiah. I think you're focusing on Odegaard, Shaka and Martinelli, because they were carrying the goals of this team last season.
Right.
And the question for me was always, can they reproduce that? And so far in the 2 games, I think Shaka scored in the first game, he scored a great goal, but in terms of overall performances over 2 games, the 3 of them haven't gotten themselves in particularly great positions on a regular basis to score the amount of goals that they scored last year. That would be the worry. With Nketiah, I think Arteta knows exactly what he's going to get from him. It's the other 3 that I'd be worried about.
Well, thank you very much for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming, premium content, and let's not forget as well, ESPN FC 7 days a week. Subscribe to ESPN Plus.